All right, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. It is a sunny, what is today? Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Lost track of the days. It's a sunny day, regardless, which means it's a good day here in Seattle. And today's a good day also because we got Engelo Rumora with us on the podcast from Ohio Cash Flow, presumably from Ohio, which is good. We like to have these Ohio guys on here. Engelo has a lot of experience spanning across the United States and internationally. So I'm sure this is going to be a good podcast. Engelo, thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Gabe, thanks for having me. And just for all the listeners, I'm by far the best guest you've ever had. So I hope they're gonna tune in and listen up. But I'm not actually from Ohio, mate. Born and bred in Australia, and I moved to Toledo, Ohio. And funny thing is, people always ask me, what the hell is an Australian doing from Sydney, Australia, in Toledo, Ohio, out of all of the places? And I always tell them, well, you know what? It's because of all of the beautiful beaches and the weather. I love it here, Not really, but still.
I was going to say, there's got to be a good story there. Which, speaking of, I told you before we got on here, we like starting with stories. That's how we start every episode. I know you got a good one because you're from Australia and you're living in Toledo. So take us back to the beginning. How'd you get here? And then how'd you get started in real estate?
Yeah, mate. So look, all the way back, and I'm going to try and keep it short because, it could take hours to explain it all. But look, I was always a very big soccer fanatic ever since I was the age of 5 years old. I even quit school at the age of 14 to chase my dream of becoming a professional soccer player. I achieved that dream. Still to this day, I would say one of my biggest achievements ever. Cool. So I had a gig in Hong Kong. I was there for 6 months. Unfortunately, things didn't work out the way I wanted them to. Moved back to Australia. Decided to hang up the boots because I didn't feel that I could achieve the financial success that I was hoping playing the game and secure the financial future of my loved ones, including myself. So hung up the boots, and what do you do then? No formal education. Can't really type, can't really read. When I type on my laptop, my staff always laughs at me because it looks like you're at a sushi restaurant with a teppanyaki chef, doing all of the magic stuff with the egg and whatnot. So I put my hard hat on, work boots, and hard yakka, as we say in Australia, mate. I started laboring, working on construction sites. I was doing that for 4 years, saved a lot of cash because what I did, mate, is I replaced my passion for soccer and football with business, entrepreneurship, real estate, finance. I just kind of completely immersed myself in that. So I was self-educating myself per se throughout that 4 years of hard yakka. Saved a bit of cash, bought my first property because what else is a construction dude going to do, right? I know I've kind of had a pretty good insight into plumbing, electrical, roofing, siding, and all that fun stuff. Bought my first property. Quickly scaled my portfolio in Australia, but I was making a lot of mistakes because I was using a ton of debt. So I was way over leveraged. I had a $60,000 income then, and I had over $1 million in debt. So I was very fortunate enough, mate, to wake up and smell the roses and realize, hey, investing in real estate or in business should get to a point where the money's working for you, not you working for it, right? Yep. And I was bleeding more on my monthly mortgage repayments than I was actually making. So I quickly woke up and smelt the roses, mate. And this was around 2012, 2013. And then the US real estate market came across my horizon. I was like, wow, this truly is a once in a lifetime opportunity, as corny as it sounds, to go over there and buy these rock bottom properties, flip them, and live happily ever after, mate. And, I decided to take the plunge, literally packed my bags, moved here. Within the first deal that I did here was in Kansas City. I think I paid 27 grand for it, something like that. Put around 10 grand into it, sold it for 45 or 50, whatever it was, made like $10,000-$15,000 on it. And I was like, wow, this is better than sliced bread, man. I got addicted. You know what I mean? I couldn't believe it. And yeah, mate, look, fast forward to today, 12 years later, I stopped counting at 1,000 flips. I don't even know how many we've done thus far. I own a turnkey real estate investment company in Toledo, Ohio. I own a property management company, Oz Realty, real estate brokerage. I've invested in tech, lost my ass on crypto. I'm heavily invested in stocks, bought real estate all over the world. You name it, mate. I've done it all, made money, lost money, and here I am now with you
And
sharing my
here we
experience.
are.
Here we
Awesome,
are.
man. Well, yeah, I mean, you got a awesome story. It sounds like you've really gone through the ringer. And don't worry, we all lost money in crypto. I was also in that boat, so it's all
Yeah,
good. As long
yeah.
as we're making money in real estate, that's all that matters.
Look, I always say, as long as you make more than you lose, you're always going to be ahead, right?
There you go. There you go. So you got experience both investing in Australia and the US. I don't want to spend too much time on this topic because most of our listeners are from the US, but I'm curious,
Yeah,
what is the difference between investing in Australian markets versus the US? Like
yeah.
in terms of
Well,
transaction, in terms of I don't know. You tell me what is the difference?
yeah. Well, Gabe, first of all, God bless America. It's the best country in the world. I love it here. Australia's home, but I've been here for 12 years, and I just love it. I love the people. I love the efficiency. And without getting too political, I just absolutely love it here. What you can do here, you cannot do in any other country, period. And whoever thinks the grass is greener on the other side, I know, a lot of American folks can be a little bit spoiled and think that. It's not the case. I encourage you, go try and live in Europe, go and try live anywhere else. You'll be coming back rolling, kissing the floor when you come back. But look, mate, the differences. Average median house price in Sydney, for example, is $1.1 million. You
Wow.
have to get into a ton of debt. The rent doesn't cover the expenses. So it's a cash flow losing equation. You can't make money. You're betting on capital appreciation, but what is capital appreciation? It's a prediction. No one has a crystal ball. We can't predict the future. Real estate should be evaluated and looked at as the numbers in the deal as they lie today, not what they might look like tomorrow. If the
Yeah.
numbers make sense today, you're cash flowing, it's putting money in your pocket. Any capital appreciation is just a cherry on top.
Yep.
So that would be one of the big differences. Real estate is bloody very expensive over there.
But I would counter that with saying that doesn't sound too dissimilar from San Francisco,
Correct.
Seattle, LA.
Correct. East Coast, West Coast. Correct. Exactly the same. Very similar. Mate, another big difference that I would say is, look, the Aussies, they pay their bloody rent. So, we manage 350 units in Toledo. We're growing very well. But every month we would have 3 or 4 evictions. That doesn't happen in Australia because
Oh,
there's
okay.
so much demand, not enough supply. Everyone's employed, and it's just kind of common sense. You got to pay your bloody rent. While folks here, they live paycheck to paycheck, they'd rather have a new phone and a Netflix subscription than they would pay their rent, which is uncomprehendable to me because once upon a time, mate, I was a broke ass honky. You know what I mean? I was eating peanut butter for breakfast and drinking $1 gas station coffees, couldn't turn the heat on, but I always paid my rent. So those are the two, without going into too much
Yeah,
detail,
yeah.
would be
And
the two
I
big
got
things.
one of the first rentals that I got. It was a duplex in Auburn. And I remember the tenant stopped paying rent, and she was like 2 to 3 months behind. And this is the first time that I bought a rental, and so I was just new, and I was like, oh, I can work it out with her. And I remember going to her house, and she had literally a brand new Cadillac in her driveway, and I was just like, why can't I was just dumbfounded, like, why aren't you paying rent and you're just buying things? And
Yeah,
I would prefer to be in the Australian market for that reason, but
yeah,
you're right, there's a lot of other opportunities here in the US, and a lot of cash flow, and Ohio is actually a great city to be in, or a great state to be in for cash flow. You guys have a lot of really good markets out there.
sure.
Is that why you chose to move to Ohio? I mean, the United States is a big
Yeah,
place. It's interesting that you
no,
chose Ohio.
yeah, well, mate, look, your network equals your net worth, right?
Mm.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. And I'm a big networker. And, at the time, I felt that I established just the right relationships in this market. And then when I came out to see it for myself, Gabe, I just couldn't believe what I saw with my eyes, and before that, I've already invested in Kansas City. I bought properties in upper state New York, lost my ass because I was trusting the wrong people. So I really, learned from those mistakes, my Harvard degree of mistakes, as I refer to it as my education on my LinkedIn page. But mate, when I came here, I just couldn't believe, the bang for the buck that you were getting, and we're talking about solid B class areas in blue collar working class neighborhoods. Everyone's employed, well kept yards, a mix of investor owned properties and home owned properties. Now it's probably shifted in the other direction where there's more home owned properties, sophisticated enough individuals where they can log online and submit a rental payment without property management having to bang on doors with a bulletproof vest and a shotgun, right? And these price points were $65,000 to $90,000. I mean, that's not even half a car park on the East Coast and West Coast, and it doesn't even buy you the front door in Australia. You know what I mean? So to me, that was just absolutely mesmerizing. I couldn't believe it, and I just got sucked into it. Now, granted, it's a bloody boring market, mate. There's really not that much to do in Toledo. Everyone here in town is going to tell you, hey, it's never been better. We got the Renaissance Hotel opening, steakhouses, this and that. But look, mate, I've traveled the country for conferences and speaking engagements and whatnot. Toledo, Ohio, the Midwest, you cannot compare it to a Texas. You cannot compare it to a Florida. You just can't. It's Fortune 500 companies, infrastructure, population growth, climate, state taxes. There's just so many good things going on in those other markets that I think there's always going to be more potential for appreciation. But, I like my real estate being boring. I like getting a good return on investment. I don't like too drama. If you build a large portfolio of these cheap single family homes, it's not a bad monthly cash flow,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm the same boat. I would prefer cash flow over appreciation any day, just because cash flow is here. It's today. I can buy it. And then the next month you're going to see money in your bank. And so I'm with you on that one. So over 1,000 flips. I mean, you stopped counting at 1,000. That's that means you've had some success. It didn't start that way. You started small. Tell me just a little bit about your growth once you got here, 2013, 2014. How did you scale your business once you put boots on the ground?
Yeah, mate, that's a great question. Well, when I initially came here, I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to buy 5 to 10 properties, hold them, and move back to Australia. And then what kind of happens, mate, is you buy one, you fix it, you flip it. You buy another, you fix it, you flip it. All of a sudden, you start getting into the mindset of, okay, well, maybe I can scale it even further and start promoting these properties to out-of-state or out-of-country investors. So now you need to create a business. Now you've created a business, and property management companies are notoriously known for nickeling and diming investors to death and the biggest scammers out there. So now, in order to service the customer long-term or the investor, now you create a property management company. Well, now investors want an exit strategy, so now you need to affiliate a brokerage with your property management company. Mate, before you know it, you've got a monster with 17 heads and you've got 50 full-time employees along with virtual assistants. And now you're wearing 20 different hats as entrepreneurs do: legals, accounting, human resources, sales, marketing, acquisitions, dispositions. I mean, you name it. And that's how it kind of scaled, mate. Look, I've always considered myself not the smartest and most sophisticated individual out there. But I've always also believed that nothing beats hard work. And that's what I've done from day one. That's what I do to this day. If I say I'm going to put my head through the wall, I will. It'll break my neck. I'll put my head through the wall. A lot of other people are smarter. They just open the door and get to the other side. I wish I was
as
like
long
that,
as you
man.
get there, that's all that matters.
I wish I was like that. I get there. I break myself, but I still get there, So I guess that would kind of answer your question in regards to how and why we decided to scale.
Yeah. And I see on your whiteboard behind you, it says less is more minimalist. So I'm curious. I mean, it sounds like you guys have scaled. You've had a lot of success. I love hearing that. How do you kind of, whenever people think about growing a real estate company, they never really think about the additional work that buildings, spinning up these additional companies bring you. So how are you personally making sure that your time isn't completely consumed by the additional companies that you built?
Yeah, well, look, great question, mate. So look, initially, you're kind of competing with the Joneses, right? You're looking at what other people are doing. And we've doubled revenue in the first 5 years, doubled profits, got on the Inc. 5000 list, won entrepreneurial awards and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I just got caught up in the hype and the hustle of America, right? Everyone here works very hard. God bless them. I love them, but it's nonstop. Again, God bless America. It's the best country in the world from a capitalistic standpoint, but it's nonstop. And sometimes that can have a toll on you, your personal lives, your health, like it did on me, and just your insanity, right? Then you kind of start digging back to why did you start all of this, and what's the point of adding another zero to the bank account? Doesn't make you happier, doesn't make you healthier. No, it doesn't. And I always believed in niche type boutique products, businesses, everything. And I've always considered myself to be extroverted and different than everyone else, with the tattoos, with my outfits and whatnot, right? So, I just decided to scale back, mate. Less is more. Have more of a boutique, niche, exclusive type business. I love The Fisherman's Story. Whoever's listening, Google it, The Fisherman's Story, one of my favorite little poems.
Was that the you can teach a man to fish kind of thing?
A little bit different. It's like you come full cycle. So yeah, just Google Fisherman's Story and people will understand what I'm saying. But yeah, mate, just decided to dial it back and make enough money to keep the people in the office happy, for me and my loved ones to live the life that we need to live. You've always got to be happy, the life that we want to live. You always need to grow a little bit because you're either green and growing or ripe and rotting, right? So you can't stay stagnant with inflation and everything. There's always got to be a slight growth. But mate, not looking to break any records anymore. Just happy keeping it as is. And another very important thing, mate, I don't know about you, but I don't like working with arseholes. And unfortunately, there's a lot of arseholes out there. So, our kind of pre-qualification is very strict, very extreme, and I only want to work with who I want to work with. I'm privileged to be able to not sacrifice my beliefs to make a sale. I can really take my time and just pick the people that I really want to work with.
Nice, man. Well, yeah, it sounds like you got some good values, and when you can run your business in alignment with your values, that's where, in my opinion, that's the best way to do life. So it sounds like you really made it in terms of reaching the goals that you were looking for. All right, it looks like we have run through the clock, so it's time to jump into the quick question round. Are you ready?
Born ready, mate.
Well, let's do it. It starts with books, or any form of education. Could be a movie, could be a Netflix documentary, whatever. Just give me two recommendations: one for general life wisdom, one for real estate.
Oh my God, you put me on the spot here. Real estate. Well, my book. Bloody hell, I wrote a book. That's right. Well, I might as well promote it, mate. The Raw Truth to Success in Real Estate by Engelo Rumora. That's my book, the best real estate book out there. No, not really, mate. But you know what? I haven't read too many real estate books, mostly business and personal related.
Okay.
I guess
what was the name of your book again? I just want to pull it up.
The Raw Truth to Success in Real Estate.
All right.
All righty. But I'll give you two other books because I don't have a real estate one. So I'm a big into philosophy, big into religion, big into mindset. The Daily Stoic.
Oh,
great
yeah.
Book, great book. And Calling Jesus, another great book. I'm not an evangelist here, but there's just a lot of good reading or quotes within it that you can implement in the day-to-day life to keep you calm and keep you in check without going crazy. So they've helped me a lot.
Yeah, I really like the Daily Stoic. It's one of my go-to bathroom books. Just put it by the toilet. It's got those little excerpts that you can read. It's a really good one. All right, next question. This is for your younger self. So let's go back to the Engelo who is just coming over to the U.S., just getting on that flight over to Toledo. Go to him, look him in the eye, give him one piece of advice moving forward.
Take your time. Don't go too quick because you're going to burn out.
Yeah, that is.
Grow at 10% per annum instead of 100% per annum. Yeah. And you'll do it forever. Otherwise, you just won't want to do it anymore. And that happened to me.
Yeah, that's good advice. It's also really difficult to follow in certain times of your life, I feel like. But yeah, that is really good advice, especially for your younger self. All right, next question is about your business. The people we work with form the foundation of our business and what we're doing in life. And so for the first three positions we hire, those really do form the foundation of the business going forward. When you landed in Toledo in the US, what were the first three positions you hired for your company? And would you do it in a different order if you did it again today?
Oh my God, mate, great question. So, and it's probably one that I can't really give the best answer on because I never was really good at the whole hiring and firing aspect. And I've had a lot of company turnover, unfortunately, probably a lot of it due to my own fault. But, I guess I can also say a lot of it due to maybe just the market itself. Toledo hasn't really always been full of motivated individuals. They like to kind of stick within their means, and I'm always very motivated and passionate. So I couldn't really give you an idea of the first hires because I did it all myself for a very, very, very long time. And then, slowly you just start building your team. Going back, mate, 11, 12 years now, maybe it was someone to assist with property management, walking properties. And then, excuse me, later on, maybe we got someone to assist with acquisitions and sales, marketing person. And then, you just kind of went from there. But I've done the whole EOS, read the book Traction, started implementing that in the business. But something that we've done recently, mate, if you look at the world as it lies today, in my opinion, to protect the company's best interests and its investors' best interests, you have to look to technology, you have to look to automation, you have to look to AI. I know it's a mainstream word right now, but look, it's helped us a lot. Right now, we're focusing on systemization, optimization, and monetization. We've got some great people on board. They're doing a great job, but we can do it better. We can be efficient. We can build for scale now. So anyone listening, mate, look at any way you can systemize and automate your business. And a saving grace for me was, mate, a virtual assistants,
Mm. Mm.
training them to train on our processes, record all of our processes, and then also have backups in place if one of them decides to take another job. This was the saving grace for my business, virtual assistants.
Yep. Do you have any good AI tools, AI resources that you can suggest people to use for
Mate,
their?
look, so this is more advanced, but for example, property management, digital automated lock boxes like a Rently or Tenant Turner, property management, property maintenance coordination software like a Property Meld. What else can I tell you? Yeah, you can tap into the Chat GPT, again, mainstream keyword, just to spit out some information and data. I don't really use it that much, but I do from time to time. I believe in it. What else from a property management related standpoint?
No, those are good recommendations. So we'll,
Yeah,
we'll stick with that.
yeah, there you go.
All right, next question. Oh man, I always lose my spot around this time. There we go. Next question is about finding deals. It all starts with getting in contact with the seller. So what is your favorite way to generate leads and find new deals?
Look under every rock possible, mate. Leave no stone unturned. Look, bandit signs, direct mail,
Bandit
Craigslist.
signs. I got
Bandit signs.
started with bandit signs and I put them all over the
Yeah,
Seattle area and I got zero calls from bandit signs. I feel like that's a very like location specific marketing channel.
it is. Gabe, you know what I always say? The wider you cast your net, eventually going to catch some fish. And then when you figure out what type of fish you're catching, then you know exactly what bait works for that kind of fish.
Yeah.
But to figure out that first, you need to catch as many as possible. So I mean, we do it all.
Yeah.
Look, we're a little bit more advanced right now. Like we're the biggest single family home buyer in town. Everyone knows we close with cash. We close quickly. We're not a wholesaler. We flip. So I don't put you on the contract for 30 days. So it's a different world for us now. Wholesalers send us deals on a daily basis. Disposition managers, nationwide disposition managers come to us wanting us to acquire their property. Foreclosures have dried up, so we're not buying many of those anymore. Mate, believe it or not, I've been doing this for the last 10 years. And it's crazy, and I can't believe a lot of people don't even know this and they don't do it. Craigslist. To
Oh
this
yeah.
day, to this day, mate, we are still buying bloody deals on Craigslist. You know what I mean? So
I
yeah,
remember when I first when did I do my first flip? It was like 2014, I think, is when I did my first flip. And the guy that I learned from, he was adamant that that Craigslist was the best, most little used marketing channel that you could get out there because nobody
agreed.
used it, nobody thought about it. But he said there's still deals out there. So it's funny that you mentioned that.
Agreed. Even to this day, mate, we're still buying deals on Craigslist.
That's funny. All right, second to last question. This is about lessons learned. You have over 1,000 opportunities to have really good lessons. And the biggest lessons always come in those deals that go a little bit sideways. So, what was a deal that went differently than you expected, and then what was the lesson you pulled from it?
Well, mate, as much as I say I stopped counting at 1,000 deals that we flipped, I also stopped counting at $2 million in losses that we incurred. And I feel that I've figured out a lot of things in this business, but one thing that I've never figured out is contractors.
Oh yeah,
So we've had, I'll give you an example. They take a draw, they buy a boat. They take a draw, they buy a new car. They take a draw, they buy drugs. They take a draw, they take their wife on a holiday. They take a draw, they use it on another house. It's just mind-boggling to me. So that is where I would say people need to be the most cautious. If you're going to get into flipping a lot of properties like we do, once you find your few gems, keep them very busy.
yeah,
So they work for you, but also make sure that you check, trust but verify. I got caught with my pants down quite a few times there where we had people working for us for a couple of years and I just started giving them money without confirming the work and we got screwed. That would be important. And another thing too, mate, you don't make money when you sell a house, you make money when you buy a house. So as long as you negotiate hard and you buy it cheap, that cheap price can subsidize any incurred mistakes that you make throughout the rehab process. And I can tell you right now, you will never, ever come on budget. Never, period. You will always go over budget. So account for that too.
yeah, absolutely. Trust but verify. I feel like that's really good advice. And you're right. It is so hard to find good contractors, like people that you can really trust to do a good job. That
Yep.
you don't have to like look over their shoulder. They just don't exist. And so it's really difficult, but trust but verify. I feel like that's a really good lesson to pull out of that. All right, last question. This is for the listeners. You've given us a lot to think about. I'm sure people want to reach out, get in contact with you. This is a two-parter. Where can they find you? And then what can they expect when they reach out?
Yeah, mate. So look, Google Engelo Rumora, or just ohiocashflow.com, ozrealty.house. Happy to help in any way if they're looking at investing, or at least, point them in the right direction.
Perfect. There you go. I'll put those links in the show notes. So if y'all want to reach out to Angelo, just click the little more in the description. It'll pull down that full description, and there you can find his links. All right, man. That wraps it up. Thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Beautiful, mate. Thanks for having me, Gabe.
Absolutely. For everybody who's here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to me, Gabe with the realestateinvestingclub.com. If you want to support the show, just give us a like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.